Since 1945, the world has spoken one language: American. The price of the goods you buy, to the GPS on your phone and the NATO shield protecting Europe, the US was the world policeman. For 80 years, the world followed one rule: what America says goes. But in January 2026, that era is screaming to a halt.
As President of the United States, I will always put America first. Just like you, as the leaders of your countries, will always and should always put your countries first.
President Donald Trump is not just changing policy, he is changing the world map. In just 12 months, the second Trump administration has done what America's enemies could not do in 80 years. It has made the world realize it does not need Washington anymore. From threatening to invade allies like Greenland to imposing massive taxes on friendly nations, the America First agenda has left America standing alone. While the White House calls it strength, the rest of the world sees disorder. Today, we explain how Trump's decisions, from trade wars to loose talk, are systematically destroying US influence, and why the world is finally ready to move on. In simple terms, a tariff is just a tax on things coming from another country. Think of it like a border fee. When a company wants to bring a product like a phone or a car into your country to sell it, the government makes them pay an extra fee first. The government charges the importing company a fee, maybe 10% or 25% of the price of the product. To cover that extra cost of government fee, the company raises the price of the product. The result? You and me, the customer, end up paying more at the store. This is how tariff works. Imagine a phone made in China costs $500. If the US puts 20% tariff on it, the company has to pay an extra $100 to the government. To keep their profit, they raise the price to $600. Trump's tariff strategy in 2026 is driven by America First pillars. Trump believes that if a country taxes US goods at 20%, the US should tax them at 20% in return. He views this as fairness even if the other country is a close ally. In January 2026, he slapped a 25% tariff on South Korea, one of America's closest security partners. Trump uses tariffs as a negotiating hammer. He hiked tariffs from 15% to 25% because the Korean legislature was slow to approve his trade deal. He is essentially saying, approve my deal today or pay the tax tomorrow. Trump has proposed a radical plan to use tariff revenue to eventually replace federal income tax for lower-income Americans. He sees tariffs as a way to fund the government while forcing foreign companies to pay for access to the US market. In January 2026, President Trump announced 10% tariffs on 8 European nations, rising to 25% on June 1, 2026, to compel the sale of Greenland to the US. The tariffs target Denmark, UK, Germany, France, and others, citing their interference in the Arctic. Trump has also imposed a 10% to 20% universal tariff on everything entering the US. Even India has been hit with tariffs up to 50% on certain goods, higher than what he is charging China. In his mind, a tax on imports is a victory. In reality, it is a declaration of economic war. While the administration calls it a win, the economic data from early 2026 shows a double-edged sword effect. One side cuts the competition, but the other side cuts the American consumer's wallet. It's a win that comes with a very high price. This might help local American factories by making foreign competition more expensive. But they make prices go up for regular people and cause other countries to punish America back. On January 21, 2026, a single tweet about tariffs caused a massive dip in the Dow Jones before it recovered after his Davos speech. The biggest pillar of American power is not the military, it is the greenback. For decades, the US dollar was the king of the global trade. If you wanted oil or gold, you paid in dollars. If you wanted safety, you bought US Treasury bonds. The US influence was built on the dollar. But in 2026, the world is de-dollaring faster than ever. But now, that oxygen is running out. By weaponizing the dollar through aggressive sanctions and erratic tariffs, he has scared away America's allies and forced them to look for alternatives. In early 2026, gold prices hit a record $4,600 per ounce. Why? Because central banks in India, China, and even Germany are buying gold instead of holding US dollars. They are no longer trusting paper backed by Washington's promises, they are moving to real assets. Nations, particularly the BRICS bloc, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, began building an exit ramp. They are developing alternatives like BRICS Pay, a direct challenge to the dollar's transactional dominance. As India takes over BRICS presidency this year, the RBI has officially proposed linking digital currencies to bypass the US banking system entirely. Earlier in 2025, we saw the unthinkable. Saudi Arabia and UAE began settling oil deals in yuan and rupees. The petrodollar, the very foundation of US wealth, is effectively on life support. With US debt at record levels and Trump pressuring the Fed to lower rates further, the dollar is in death spiral. As the world dumps US bonds, the safe haven is becoming a risk zone. If the world stops needing dollars to buy oil, the US loses its ability to print money to solve its problems. The superpower does not just lose its influence, it loses its credit card. On 27 January 2026, India and the European Union signed a historic free trade agreement, famously called the mother of all deals. Why? Because they can no longer rely on US trade stability. They are increasingly trading in rupees and euros, bypassing the US banking systems entirely. As Trump threatens to devalue the dollar to help US exports, global investors are running away. If the world stops using the dollar, the US can no longer fund its massive debt. The superpower becomes a broke power. January 2026 has changed the rules of global power. A battle of sanctions. In simple terms, a sanction is a punishment one country gives to another to force it to change its behavior. Instead of a military war, the government uses money and trade, an economic war. In 2026, the US has expanded its use of sanctions significantly. First, Iran. After the massive January protest in Tehran, Trump launched maximum pressure campaign. He did not just sanction Iran, he threatened a 25% tax on any country that trades with them. Then there is Russia. On January 7th, the Sanctioning Russia Act was greenlit. The goal? To kill the shadow fleet, the secret ships Russia uses to sell oil. Even India and China are being pressured to stop buying Russian crude or face US penalties. And don't forget China. The focus has shifted to biotech and AI. The US is now banning the sale of advanced chips and medical tools, effectively trying to unplug China from American innovation. The message is clear. If you don't follow Washington rules, you don't get to use Washington's tools.
The United States military conducted an apprehension mission in Caracas, Venezuela, to bring to justice two indicted persons, Nicolas and Cecilia Maduro. This operation, known as Operation Absolute Resolve.
But the biggest shocks happened on January 3rd, 2026. The US carried out Operation Absolute Resolve, capturing President Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. Now the US is running a total quarantine, controlling every drop of Venezuelan oil until a new government is in place. Even allies are feeling the heat. Trump recently threatened a 100% tariff sanction on Canada just to stop them from signing a trade deal with China. When your best friends start using sanctions against you, the alliance isn't just shaking, it's breaking. Then there is Greenland.
There's no nation or group of nations is in any position to be able to secure Greenland other than the United States.
Trump's obsession with buying this island has pushed NATO to the breaking point. In January 2026, he threatened to use the hard way, indicating military force if Denmark did not hand over the island. Why? The answer is oil and minerals. Yes, the resource grab. Trump wants Greenland for its $1 trillion worth of rare earth minerals, the stuff needed for your smartphones or TVs. He also wants it for the Golden Dome, a new space-based missile shield. For the first time since 1949, European nations like France and the UK sent troops to Greenland to protect it from the US. Though he walked back the threat at the World Economic Forum in Davos on January 21st, the damage is already done. President of France Macron and Prime Minister of Canada Mark Carney have openly called for resistance networks against US building. At the Davos summit, Trump did not act like a diplomat.
Emmanuel Macron, I watched him yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened?
He mocked the French president's sunglasses and told the Canadian PM that Canada only exists because of the US. This loose talk is not just rude, it is dangerous. It tells the world that an American promise is only good until the next tweet. At Davos, Trump boasted about being a dictator, saying, "Sometimes you need a dictator." To European leaders, this was the final straw. They no longer see the US as a protector, but as a risk. Board of Peace is a new controversial international organization formally established by Donald Trump on January 22, 2026 during the World Economic Forum in Davos.
Please welcome the chairman of the Board of Peace, the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
The Board of Peace is unlike any other international organization because of its unique transactional structure. The Board of Peace is not just a committee, it is a disruption. By charging $1 billion for a seat at the table and naming himself chairman for life, Trump is effectively privatizing global diplomacy. Most Western democracies have rejected the invite to join Board of Peace. France, the UK, the Germany have called it a threat to international law. Trump has openly stated that the Board of Peace might replace the United Nations, which he calls ineffective and administrative bloat. Critics, including the President of Brazil, have accused Trump of creating a pay-to-play UN where the US President has total king-like control over global affairs. We are witnessing a geopolitical suicide. By undermining the network of alliance that made it a superpower, the US is reverting to a fortress America. The first time, allies are looking at China and the European Union as more stable partners than the US. By hollowing out NATO and the European Union, Trump is removing the referee from global conflicts. The result? China is winning without firing a single shot. While Trump builds Fortress America, China is building the new Silk Road, becoming the partner of choice for Asia and Africa. In Davos, it became clear. China is positioning itself as the same superpower, offering open artificial intelligence and a stable trade compared to Washington's unpredictability. If the US only cares about the Western Hemisphere, who will protect the South China Sea? Who will lead the climate change? Who will manage the next global pandemic? In 2026, the answer is not America. The demise of US influence isn't happening because of a war, it is happening because of the world is simply moving on.
On November 5th, we will save our economy. We will rescue our middle class. We will reclaim our sovereignty and restore our borders. And we will always put America first. We will take back our country. God bless you all. Thank you.
Donald Trump promised to make America great again, but in the eyes of the global community in 2026, he has made America alone. The American dream is becoming a global nightmare for many. As the US retreats behind its walls and tariffs, the rest of the world, including India, is learning to survive and thrive without Washington. Are we heading into an age of every nation for itself? Is America still the leader of the world, or is the era of the US over? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe to support our channel.